The removed aspect, the egoic aspect, is the cut off aspect. So you find in there all the quote unquote dilemmas or concerns or problems or issues or things that humanity is wrestling with. Questions of how to, right? How to be that, how to do that, how to deal with this, how to be enlightened, awaken, or be spiritual, or deal with the outside world, etc., etc. Right? The sense of unsettledness, it's separated, right? It's separated from the isness. That's why it has all these questions. It's separated from the actual being or doing, ising of something. That's why it's asking how. You see the mechanics of this precisely because it's the removed aspect. And as the removed layer is having this staticky noise of how to's, of being in a trying to solve a problem position, the quote unquote deeper layer is already doing it, you see, is already being it, is already living life in accordance, in alignment. As the top layer, the removed layer is in a noisy environment of trying to figure things out. It's too late. The egoic layer, the removed layer, cut off layer from the actual isness is too late. It's removed. The realitying of reality always beats the ego to it. You see, the mind has this kind of sense of gratification, when it quote unquote gets an answer. And it's like this cyclic loop because the ego is that which is removed. So it has infinite questions, infinite quote unquote issues, infinite dilemmas or, things to figure out, questions to be answered or solved, right? And so it likes these things, right? It likes to, get answers. Basically, it likes that sense of filledness, a hole being filled, like satisfying or gratifying a craving. And by getting quote unquote an answer, it's like the answer filling the sense of whole, a sense of incompleteness, wholeness, as in HOLE, that the question generated. Getting an answer, there's this temporary sense of wholeness, as in WHOLE, filledness. But of course, the ego dimension is that separated compartment. So that's why it's also called the hungry ghost. No matter how much validity, answers, gratification, approval, love, worthiness it gets, it creates that separation. It infinitely generates wholeness, HOLE. It's that which is constantly extracting itself, you see. It's this sort of perpetual puzzle piece that needs to be filled, to be put together with something. It's this fragmented of piece that's now incomplete and needs another thing or the other piece to be whole. It needs to quote unquote plug into something. It needs to quote unquote, okay, parasite off of something. So the ego dimension is kind of like this drug addict that needs its fix, needs its drug, whatever that is: entertainment, success, love, approval, attention, sense of validity, sense of belongingness, sense of recognition, being right, asserting oneself, accumulation of knowledge, answers, etc., etc., right? Whatever fills the hole, you see. The deeper layer of wholeness, WHOLE, It's whole. So let's say, quote unquote, the question is not extracted. It's kind of like the question and answer are still whole, unseparated yet, quote unquote. It's the wholeness prior to the fragmentedness. It's the whole pie prior to the slice of pie cut off from that. It is the whole prior to being cut into two. How I describe this integrated or non-disintegrated wholeness is positivity, because one, it's that which is non-disintegrated, and two, that's the feeling, that's the sense, a sense of general well-being and wholeness and completeness. So those are the positive qualities that humans are looking for. So positivity meaning wholeness, right? Integratedness prior to negativity or fragmentedness, prior to breaking off, separation, taking away, hence the negativity, right? Prior to the disintegration. And so you see, it's not that you get answers to questions, that you come upon this non-separate, non-disintegrated dimension or layer, but it's the collapse of the fragment. It's like the fragment or the water droplets falling back into the pool of water, into wholeness. It's doing or being or isness prior to trying to do, to be, to live. It's like it's already in it, you see. It's that which is already one with the flow of life, lifing prior to the fragmented of peace that is now cut off from that. Hence, it's cut off from the natural living, the natural being. Hence, it's now in a space of how. How do I do it? How to be? How to do? What's my purpose? What to do in this life? What's the meaning of life? Now it has all these kinds of philosophical questions and all these kinds of existential questions and whatever questions, because it's cut off. You see, while it's in that dilemma, life is already happening. While that cut off piece is in a kind of journey or search for delving into books about the quote unquote secrets of the universe, or about, again, how to's, how to be, the steps to quote unquote enlightenment. Or, the esoteric, mystical, mysterious knowledge of universal whatever, right? While it's doing that, this, that which is alive, this, that which is not separate from the flow of life, is already happening. You see,